Hey gang, what's up? I know what you're probably thinking. Especially for those of you watching this later on, you're probably thinking, "Dude, where's that sweet opening? We love that sweet opening." I know. I decided this time around I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna get do all my setups. I hate seeing that blank page, especially like right now. I'm talking basically. I'm talking to Angela in the background, and then anybody who will watch this later on, because no one's watching this live at the moment. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of. Oh, see, we already have four people dropping in. What's going on, guys? I was saying before, I'm just trying to kind of try something different today. I'm just gonna sort of set all this up, edit audience, boom, boom, public. Now I can see what you guys are saying. First to comment, I am Sam. What's going on? Will Pace, what's going on, dude? Karen Silva's in the house. Oh, six. Okay, cool. Wow, you guys are already showing up. This is fantastic. This is a lot faster than I thought. I just wanted to kind of come in, warm up the show. Always a good thing to see your head, Chuck. Thanks. I don't know if that's actually good or not, but I appreciate that. First time I came in live and I didn't get the intro. Oh, well, you're gonna get the intro now, guys. You know what show this is. Let's set it up. We're gonna give you that because I think we all love it because Eric just did such a fucking good job. All right, guys, here we are.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck. Because I care.
What's going on, gang? Oh shit, so good to see you guys. Who's in there? Andrew's there. Andrew's gonna be our guest next week. We're gonna have a really good show with him. Will just wrapped his show up. I know Russ is still doing his. He usually goes a little late, but whatever, man. We're here. We have a fantastic guest. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We just passed Christmas. We're heading into the new year. Time to bring out a new face. I'm very excited. Today, my guest is the one, the only, Angela Oddling.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Chuck?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Holy crap. Look at all these amazing people in the audience today. Aaron's here. Kenneth is here. Of course, Edward's here. I like to do that kind of thing where, we say hi to everybody and pretend like they matter, and then you and I chat and don't pay attention to them.
Hello, everybody in the comments section. My name is Angela.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, guys. This is Angela Oddling, who is a fantastic writer and artist. You actually, like, when you work on your no, by the way, guys, she is going to be so fucking humble today and so self-deprecating. I'm certain of it. I've seen enough of her to know it, but in all honesty, she really is incredibly talented. It's why I have her on here. And when it comes to your comic, you do absolutely everything, like from top to bottom, correct?
I do every single last thing. I sure do.
So she's doing an awful lot, and her and I are on fairly similar trajectories in the fact that this year you've officially started full-time comics.
It's true, yes.
Dude, which again, I read by reading Detached. I saw the little update and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I started about a year ago myself. So congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's only been a little bit of time for me going, doing mostly comics and stuff like that. But it's a fun ride, so.
And everyone's already saying hi and shouting you out and everything. That's awesome. Guys, you guys are just amazing, all of you. So what's the reason why? There's several reasons why I wanted to bring Angela on. First off, guys, a lot of us kind of run in similar circles, and I want to bring in fresh faces, fresh ideas. I don't want you to just come in and see a lot of the same guests and a lot of the same people all the time. So I wanted to bring Angela in because Angela and I have two fairly different backgrounds. I am very much American comics, and Angela, you are very much manga inspired, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, because I see
web comics.
See, dude, so much love going on. Thank you guys. You guys are all freaking awesome. So you do a webtoon, or it's also on Tapas, a web comic called Detached, which I absolutely love.
Thank you.
I went today and I read all of it. I had already gone over it several times, and we're Facebook friends. What's going on, guys? Oh, look at this.
Hi.
This is one of your people, isn't it?
Hi, Samari. I love you.
Oh, that's awesome. Hello, welcome to the show. Yeah, you're doing web comics, and that's so different because I'm always big on print. Haven't tried so much to do that, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, web comics a really, really good way for somebody who does it all to get their stuff out there.
I would say so. Like for me, it definitely was. So I think that you have a better chance of, because it doesn't cost anything, for you to get it out there. You don't have to go to a printer or anything like that. You just have to find like a nice community of people that you like, and just get shit out there. So
Absolutely. So what would you say, how has doing web comics affected your career?
I would say that it really launched it. So the first time that I ever posted a web comic, it was Detached. Detached is the first personal comic that I've ever done, personal comic project. And whenever I put it online, it was on Tapas, which is like a great platform for anybody who is interested in like looking up web comics and stuff. Tapas is amazing. But at the time, I was just drawing my comics on copy paper with Sharpies and like taking pictures of them with my phone, and then like putting them in a Word document and saving them as like JPEGs, and then uploading that onto Tapas. So like I was just doing stuff like that, and I got like 20 subscribers. And then I just kept doing that. If I look back at that stuff now, I'm like, this stuff looked like trash, but
it's a little cringy, is it?
Yeah. But I mean, lo and behold, it caught the eyes of one of the editors on Tapas, and they shared it on the front page. And after that, it just kind of like spiraled. So I ended up getting like 1,000 subscribers at first, and 1,000 turned to several. So
you're over like 4K subscribers now, right?
I'm at about 8 on Tapas. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really exciting for me.
Yeah, no, that's
a good number. Huge. Shooting for 10, but
it's so funny because you have things like Tapas or webtoons where you can get several thousand subscribers, and then you have like something like Instagram where people are like, oh, I have 10K subscribers, and you're like, holy shit, like those are bonkers numbers. And then you go to a Kickstarter and it's suddenly like, I hit 200 backers, and that's humongous. Yeah. And it's just so hilarious, the difference between like, hey, all these people seem to really like my stuff enough to follow them, and this is the small wedge of that pie that is willing to actually pay for it.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And that's something that I get a lot, because I have to take into, I don't know how much this is for your audience, but like my audience is predominantly like teenagers, I would say, or like people in college. So I'm not expecting all 8,000 people to have like that cash on them ready to go. So,
so that brings something up for me though. Are you making money on webtoons or Tapas right now? Is that a possibility, or is it more a funnel?
It's a funnel. I make a very small amount of money, just from like ad revenues and stuff like that.
Okay.
One of my favorite comics creators actually got in touch with me and was like, hey, like making web comics is really hard, and for the most part, if you're not sponsored by them, you're not going to make any money off of it because the views aren't there. You're not you're not reaching the audience for them to actually go and like look at your page unless you're sponsored by whatever platform. And he was just like, you gotta use it as a funnel it into making merch, funnel it into making books. And that's kind of the path that I'm on right now.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So first, okay, I was gonna see you were wearing your detached shirt earlier, and I was like, is she gonna wear it on the show?
I spilled eggnog on it.
Oh no! If you were gonna spill anything on it, eggnog is good. I did wear my my Belial shirt today.
Yes, my other ride is your mom. Relevant. Relevant to me. Just kidding.
My daughter-in-law of all people made this shirt for me.
It's amazing. I was cracking up whenever I saw that.
See, so that was a line that I ended up saying on, because the Belial is a very raunchy comic. It's a lot of fun, and Link says all the things that I'm way too polite to possibly say. So he is that the loosening of a filter that is more predominant than people imagine. So and you know what? I think you understand that because your book is very cathartic as well, and you're able to probably say a lot of things in Detached that otherwise you wouldn't necessarily show. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think that this has come up a couple of times where people have actually, and this has happened a lot of times, people have gotten in touch with me on like my DMs, and they've been like, you're like so happy and cheery, and like on social media, is that just like a show? Like, is that a personality that you're putting on? Like, is it a front, I guess, is what they're trying to ask. And I always say, like, it's who I am, but not the whole thing. Like, so no, it's not necessarily like a persona that I'm putting on, but it's just a fraction. So Detached is kind of a good way for me to sort of express the things that I don't think I'm either comfortable, sharing with everybody straightforward, that I really don't think that people need to know about me straight out of my mouth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was asked, so right here, Trish says, oh, did that disappear? Well, Trish did ask about you. Oh yeah. Sorry, no, Edward did. What's your comic about? So yeah, you know what? I was gonna try to sum it up, but I'd rather hear it from you. What is Detached all about? Tell all of us.
So, for everybody that's watching, Detached is my webcomic. It is a semi-autobiographical, I don't even know how to say that word, but it's a comic about an introvert named Casey, who has to sort of learn how to love herself and grow against her anxieties after her personal demons manifest themselves into the real world as creatures called Oddlings. So it's kind of this story that's about this girl who suffers from anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, and she sort of has to befriend these creatures, and while she's doing that, realizes that these creatures represent fragments of herself, and by befriending them, she's really learning to love the parts of herself that she's ignored or hated for so long.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I did feel an awful lot of that. I love lore. And what I find really exciting about what you do in Detached is right away there's a lot of lore, but it comes out I would liken it a lot to like Steven Universe. Have you gotten into that?
Yes, so, that's a big compliment for me. Thank you.
The reason for that is if you watch Steven Universe, each episode is like 12 minutes. And what you end up with when you watch a 12-minute episode of Steven Universe is like 10 and a half to 11 minutes of really fun, enjoyable personalities playing off each other. And then usually about a minute and a half that are super strong story parts that really build that world. And Now, obviously, some episodes are all that, and other episodes are none. But I think really, if you were to pull out the whole series, that's kind of the fraction of the way that it deals.
For sure.
And I felt that, yeah, and I felt that very much in what you were writing and how you worked Detached, where they are these, the Oddlings are still very human feeling in a lot of senses. Of course, they have their strange eccentricities and whatnot, but they still feel like people that we all can understand and sort of get. I mean, what is it, Camille?
Yes.
Is that how we say it?
Wow, you said his name right. Yay!
I looked up the pronunciation when you showed off the character bios. I told you I took the read.
Yay, I'm so excited. You've made me so happy.
You know what? I was disappointed because Lee didn't have a pronunciation, and I thought, what if it's Lie?
You know what? I have to go back and add that now because that was such a missed opportunity on my part.
But yeah, I feel that way very much about your stories. Is that like Camille is basically almost like a demigod of sorts, like the son or grandson of a god, effectively.
Yes, that is true.
And so, because of that, you would think that his problems aren't at all understandable, but we have to deal with angry exes and him not being able to fully explain himself, and him, sometimes being a little, I would say, I don't know. He's just very not good at explaining himself a lot of times. He just tends to do, and then later on has to apologize. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, sorry, you broke up for a little bit there. Yeah, but exactly. He's just kind of this character. He particularly for me represents the part of myself that has a hard time confronting the things that they have done and then communicating why they've done those things.
Yeah. Well, if you guys go to either Tapas, and it's on Webtoons as well.
It is, yeah. It's on both Tapas and on Webtoons.
Okay. So go there, look up either Angela Oddling or look up Detached, and you will find that. And I honestly, I believe you guys will very much enjoy it. It was really cool. We have talked a little bit about Detached. I know we're going to come back to it, but something that you and I talked about backstage, and I'm very excited to ask you about, is that, Angela, you do not do a lot of shows, and you've already talked about anxiety and all that kind of stuff. But what brings you out today? Like, what? I mean, why me? I guess is kind of what I'm thinking.
Anytime that I see, like, in this, I mean, we've been Facebook friends for quite a while, at least a year, probably more than that.
Yeah, definitely more.
Way more than that. And I see that you've always done like little live videos and stuff like that, talking about your comics and your Kickstarters and everything. And anytime that I comment on your stuff, you're like, "Hey, hon, love what you're doing. Love the Oddling stuff, blah blah blah." And like, I'm just, every time that I see you, I'm just like, what a positive, like, nice guy. Like,
oh, thank you.
I feel like a lot of the times, like, people in indie comics get a bad rap or like seem like they have a chip on their shoulder or whatever, and or maybe you're a little bit, I don't know what the right word for it is, but not as welcoming. And you're just like the most welcoming person. Aww. So I was like, yeah, let's go talk.
That's really sweet. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Just to make it about myself for a quick second, that was really sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah. See, it's funny because we have been friends for a while, and again, I just read Detached for the first time today, but it wasn't really the first time I'd read Detached because you put up pages all the time. You show off little shorts that you do. You'll show off pictures of the characters. You'll often even do funny little scenes where you add them in. I know that I have a couple favorites. I think you love to insert Artemis into random little things. Like, I know I've seen him around a lot.
Yeah, Artemis is actually, I can't reach him, but he's right behind me.
You what, like a stuffed animal or a
Yeah.
drawing?
A stuffed animal.
Wow. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, Annie's on my wrist.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, Artemis is my dude.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I have so many questions. It's funny, like people would be annoyed because I have so many questions about that world. Artemis brought up a lot of them. He was very interesting because Artemis, him, and there's a bunch of other. They're like little reapers.
They're shadowlings.
Shadowlings. That's right.
Yes.
And but what's funny?
Yes, little reapers. Very good.
Right? And so they end up in another world, and when they go there, suddenly Artemis can talk, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got my soul back," and I'm like, "Holy crap! How terrible is that? That normally you don't have your soul, and then you go here and you get it back." And so she creates such a bond with him that she ends up giving him a little ribbon or a bow,
Yeah.
and that's so that she always knows that's her dude because she doesn't want him to get separated from all of the other oddlings or all the other shadowlings, which was just so cute. I really enjoyed it. I really love your take on the characters and how much fun you have. How long have these characters kind of played in your head?
So I've been working on Detached officially since 2017. So however many, 4 years? Is that 4 years? 5 years?
We'll say 4. Hey, it feels like a dozen.
Yeah, 1,000 years. Well, I've been working on Detached for about 1,000 years, give or take. Yeah, so Oddlings have been the first Oddlings I think were conceived, as much as I hate to use that word, they probably around like 2012. And I actually just I'm an animation school dropout. So like a lot of ideas that I had during animation school sort of just like crossed over after dropout to me just drawing them when I needed to draw. And for a while I was just doing like acrylic paintings of my Oddlings and sort of building that world through paintings. And then I met Russell Multy and just started doing comics.
Yeah, because that's where I kind of met you, so to speak, is I saw you kind of, how did you guys meet up?
We met in some kind of like Facebook group, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was like Cartoonist Cafe or something like that. I don't remember. It's like a daze. It's just like
because you went from, and I won't dead name you, so to speak, but I remember your original name, and then you became Angela Oddling, and you really like filled that role. I know that sounds weird, but not a lot of people could just suddenly kind of change their name and sort of take on a pseudonym like that, and everybody just goes, "Oh yeah, okay." You really do, and in the most delightful way too. Like even John says it here. Do you get tired of the word cute? I think of them as sweet but unsettling.
my Oddlings.
I think so.
Whoop. Okay, sorry, you were breaking. I think my internet's just bad, but yeah, do I get tired of the word cute? Actually, the answer to that is sometimes. I always go through this thing where I feel like people don't take me seriously because I'm always considered to be like this chipper cute person that makes cute creatures. And like I think that that's good. Partially because people like cute things and they're more drawn to them, but also like Oddlings have a meaning behind them that if you read my work or just like get to know me as a person will understand that like it's not just cute stuff, it's meaningful things that have happened, and I am choosing to share that with my readers.
Yeah, there's definitely a darkness to it. Sorry, did you hear that? I know that we are cutting in and out a little bit.
I did hear you. Yes.
Okay, cool. Good. Yeah, no, there is, but it's still like it still comes back to the cute, and I guess that would be difficult, to kind of be considered the cute one all the time, and it's like, well, yeah, but I'm also a really kick-ass artist, and I have a. Is that part of the story? I guess of Detached is that there is this kind of this soul, these pieces of Casey. And I had to remember the name.
That's okay.
Look, I'll be completely honest with you. I edit and work on so many things.
There's a lot of
that often what I'll do is I'll just be like your main character, or your sidekick or whatever, because I forget names so often.
Name here.
We all of a sudden have a bunch of people coming in here. Thanks for telling me. This was interesting. Hey, Chuck Pino, thanks for telling that guy in the indie comic group yesterday that genre fiction is real storytelling. Thank you. You know what? And I'm sure you feel the same way. I get very passionate at times, and somebody says something, and suddenly I'm just like, that's fucking crap. And I have to say something right away. And sometimes I feel so dumb because, like, I was the only one that took what this guy, and this guy didn't say anything mean. It was a quote from somebody. And I just got really impassioned. And everybody else was like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, dude. I'm like, I know, but
hey, if something hits you, it hits you. Like, if you have a thought about something, I think it's better to express how you feel about
it. We are cutting out a little bit, but we're gonna be here anyways. Oh, look at this. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate that. And don't take me too seriously. It's hardly worth anybody's time. But you have done Detached, which, like we said, is very much your own thing, but now you're working full time. What are you working on?
So actually most of my work right now are like art commissions. So I have a couple of projects that I'm not allowed to talk about, that are comics. And I'm very excited about those. I work for Chaz Pangburn, but we collaborate on another webcomic called R.I.P. You and Me. So that is a fun project that I'm working on right now that everybody can check out on Webtoon. And that is sort of a project about like learning to move on after like a failed relationship and how to cope with that in a healthy way, even whenever it gets hard. So that's something that I really relate to. And then I am working on a big project with Russell called Lucifer Licorice, which is a fun story about a spoiled prince that has to learn how to regain his humanity with the help of his friends after he's turned into a licorice skeleton. So that's a fun one. But mostly right now I'm actually working on like really random commissions, which I think a lot of artists, especially comic artists, do. Where like I'm just getting people asking for me to like draw recipe cards and like letterheads and stuff.
Really? Recipe cards?
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun work. Like I get so many random requests for like recipe cards, and like somebody's niece wanted to start doing like handwriting letters, so I like created this like paper that she could write on, custom paper that she could write on. And I just sort of like take my little characters and stick them in there, and I'm like, here you go.
So with Licorice, Lucifer Licorice, and R.A.P. You and Me, how much of you gets to go into them? Because obviously the writers have kind of brought you into those projects, or at least the writers, usually there's kind of a border. How much of you gets to go into the writing or say, story creation?
So with Lucifer Licorice, a lot, because that was actually my concept that I brought to Russell, because we had been wanting to collaborate on like a bigger project for a while, and I'd been posting about it, and he would keep commenting like little good ideas, and then finally I was like, "Do you just want to write this? Because if I have to write one more thing by myself, I'm just gonna explode." So he agreed to write it, and me and Russell are good friends, and he means a lot to me as a creator and as a friend, and I think that our senses of humor vibe really well together. So I think that he also like writes really well for me, so he sort of like gets it.
Yeah.
And then for R.I.P. You and Me and Chaz have become really good friends as well. And so it's funny with that one is that my ideas don't really get put into the writing, but he sort of lets me have free reign with art. So I'll just like sneak little jokes in there in the background. So it's sort of like both of our personalities coming on full force. It's a really fun comic. It's a really fun comic because like Chaz is this really heartfelt and like sincere person, like sharing his relationship experiences, and then it'll just be like my art in the background, and it'll be like, I love butts, and it's just like, right. So
I love that you're like, oh well, since this is my area, I'm gonna throw some butts in there.
Yeah,
like we're gonna have some fun.
Every single like I wish he would hop on that he could just confirmed butts in every single episode.
I think that's pretty terrific. I think that's well, and you also have it's very funny. I've noticed a theme with you because it is a mixture of kind of light and dark subjects. You know what I mean? A lot of that is like, like I said, the little reapers and the shadowlings, and then all this other kind of cutesy stuff and whatnot. Is there something that you're playing with there in the light and dark? Is that coming from something specific or?
Yeah, so like I've been doing that for a very young age, and I think that like it has a lot to do with, first of all, the things that I watched growing up. Just like a lot of really weird stuff like Princess and the Goblin and like Tim Burton stuff. But like as I got older and started to create my own characters, I sort of started playing with the idea that like a lot of bad shit happened to me whenever I was a kid. And like bad stuff continues to happen all the time. And I think that even though things are really hard and can be really bad, good things can come from them. So I like to portray these really dark things as things that are sort of like more lighthearted.
Yeah. So because you did have like in Detached, her mother's gone and Casey is separated from her father. There's obviously been some issues there. And then I do know, and I don't want to harp into this too much, but I do know that there was it felt like the little bit that, you kind of pick up things about people in social media, little things that you said. So it feels like you went through a tumultuous time that then led you towards finally taking the leap to becoming a comic creator. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So like, just going back to like in Detached, part of the plot is that Casey sort of has this estranged father, her mother is gone. In reality, like I have a great relationship with my mom. And like me and my dad are on good terms. My parents divorced whenever I was like 2. So it's always been sort of like a weird situation for me where growing up, I didn't have the best relationship with my mom or my dad because, my mom was trying to be a mom and a dad as a single mom, taking care of me. And, my dad had like another family and like was doing his best. And I sorry if y'all are watching this, mom and dad, like love ya. But like, obviously, like any child of divorced parents, you go through a tough time sort of like processing that. So I just sort of, threw that in there into detached. But like whenever I got a little bit older, I was sexually abused. Sorry if that got too real, but I was sexually abused whenever I was younger, 2 times in my life. And that sort of led to me going down a pretty bad path, like in my teenage years. I had a drug habit pretty bad. And I dropped out of school because of it. And like from there, I sort of just took the first out of that situation that I could find. And that was my ex. So I got married. I ended up getting married at a really young age, so that I could sort of leave one life for like another not so great situation. And so that whole relationship was just me sort of realizing like this wasn't the right choice. Now I have this like thing that I'm stuck in. And as that relationship sort of started to crumble from the like debris of the relationships, I sort of crawled out and was able to find the path that led me to the path that I'm on now. So
yeah, you're like that flower that grew out of the sidewalk. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I would love to be a sidewalk flower.
with a little ghost best buddy or something, because you just seem to love ghosts.
I'm just a little weed. That's all.
But no, I guess so. I got into that, and I know everyone's going, dude, did we have to go down that road? I feel like we did, because the person that you see before you right now doesn't look like they have that baggage. You really seem to have dealt with a lot of it, at least in a way enough that you don't look like you're hiding it. And fuck, if you read the comic, you're not hiding it. I mean, that prom scene, there's a bunch of stuff where it's pretty evident that some dark shit happened, but you're definitely dealing with it. Do you feel like in a lot of ways comics has allowed you an expression that can kind of, a form of expression that can allow you to sort of be the real you?
So yes, in a sense, definitely. I think that at least from my experience, a lot of the things that I went through, people, at least in my generation, are taught that you should be ashamed of those things. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't be ashamed of those things. You should learn that those things are in the past and that you can grow from them. And I think that a lot of the times people are so afraid of being looked down upon because they've went through these hard things that may or may not have, even been their fault, things that they shouldn't be blamed for because they were young or because that was the best option that they had at the time. And so for me, like, not only is it important to me that through Detached, I sort of am able to express that like, hey, this is what happened to me. And I'm finally like sharing it, but also having it out there so that if somebody else has been going through that kind of thing, they don't have to feel alone.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say that I feel like you, at least from what we see, and of course everyone knows social media is only so much of ourselves, but I do feel like you've handled it very well. And I do feel like some absolutely amazing art has come from it. So I want to congratulate you on that journey, because obviously it's not easy. I mean, all of us have these moments in our lives where we're not happy with, and certainly you could have continued down shitty paths, but here you are, talking about the great works that you're doing and all that kind of stuff, and really blossoming and kind of blowing up in your own right. So congratulations, man. Like, seriously, it's huge. I think it's something to be celebrated.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's definitely like every day is a struggle, and for any artist, like it's a hard field. No matter like if you've been through whatever kind of emotional journey out, like in your personal life, or if you're just trying to like stay up late and like animate stuff, or like stay up late and get inks done, like it's tough, man. So if this is like the path that you chose and you're trying your best, good for you.
Yeah.
Because dang.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So now we're gonna segue back into, and guys, feel free to ask any questions, because this is very much it's shop talk. So we want to also be able to talk about actual creation. So Wendy came in with a really good one. It's about the show is about creative processes. What made you choose webtoons, and what is that process like for you?
So I got into comics, and I feel like this might be like one of the ways that I'm sort of an anomaly from a lot of my peers, is that I didn't get into comics by reading like books. For the most part, I read some like mangas here and there, but for the most part, I got into comics by reading web comics online. The first one that I read was called Nightmare Pro Wrestling, which is about like a skeleton that wants to be a pro wrestler. And I'm so sorry, I cannot remember the creator's name, so I'm so sorry, but I'll like post it in the comments later once I look it up. But it was just like this fun thing that I could go online and just like there was a community of people there that I could talk to about it and like see everybody's reactions. And to me, that was the most fun thing, was like the fandom part about it. It was like, I'm not super into superheroes. So it was this thing that I was like, oh, this is art and a story, and it has a fan base around it that I could like hang with. So that's sort of how I got into webcomics in the first place. And then, like I said, the first time that I made a webcomic, I was just like using Sharpies and my phone to upload it and stuff. Now, of course, I have upgraded and I have an iPad and I use that. So,
Well, and it's funny, even if you guys actually, well, no, not if, when you people go and you read her detached, what's really cool is you can see the shift from I make a webtoon to I make comics. Because I remember reading it, and then suddenly I'm like, oh shit, that's paneling. Like you're full on paneling out pages. And
oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep. Did you hear any of that or not really?
I heard paneling pages, and that's all that I heard.
Oh, okay. So basically what I was impressed with is that watching you go from I'm making a webtoon to eventually you were making full-on panels, and you were really kind of like fitting into that comic form, so to speak. And so I think what a lot of people will enjoy, not even, I mean, yes, the story and the art and all that is so delightful and fun, but you also get to see the evolution of an artist, and you get to see that shift. Even I can see your color panel or your color palette changed over time, and things kind of actually I found they brightened at one point.
Yeah. So the cool thing about Detached, and like it's a cool thing looking back on it now, but ultimately it was a huge pain in my ass, was that since it was, and yes, John David Guerrera, that
is wow. Thank you, Martin.
Best comic. Go read it and buy all his t-shirts. They're so good. But yeah, so like Detached was my first like me comic that I made. It was my first passion project as far as comics go. So like I went from Sharpies to like using my mouse to color, to using my iPad like for the first year, using my iPad the second year, the third year, and then it finally reached a point where I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with my comic style now, and like I'm comfortable with my storytelling, and now like I'm ready to compile all of these things and clean them up and like get ready for the big dogs.
Well, you're definitely making it happen. I love that. Big guy, if you're talking about Angela, yes, she very much is on Facebook. If you're talking about John David Guerra, I'm not sure. So I gotta say, the fans of the show are coming out. It's a good buddy of mine and a great comic creator in his own right. And he has a really good question. He obviously knows a little bit about you.
I do play the ukulele. I do.
And so do you have he's saying he can't find you. But he would love to have you on sometime anyways.
Yeah, that would be cool. Do I get to play my ukulele?
So what? Why the ukulele of all things?
Because it's so easy.
Easier than the guitar, really?
Oh, my little sausage fingers? I don't think so with the guitar.
Oh, dude, right? I get you. Girl, you and I, same thing. Yeah, absolutely. I call them, I call them breakfast sausage fingers.
Yes, they're like Denny's breakfast sausages.
See, holy shit, everybody's coming out.
Hi, Eric. Thank you
My
so
dude,
much.
Eric. And see, the funny thing is that Eric is very much in the same kind of aspect as you. He does a lot of cartoonist style stuff, and he's also very much into music. He's a sound engineer and whatnot. He's the reason why we have amazing music and sound and whatnot on Essence House, is his talent and his family's talent. So, and then David had to come back, and he loves your ukulele songs. So I think you need to come back and do more of that.
Sorry, you broke. What was that? You broke up again.
Oh, sorry. He loves your ukulele songs, so I think you're gonna have to come back with more of that. You're officially getting called out.
Thank you. So, and this is just like shameless self-promotion, but my musician name is No More Oatmeal. So if you ever want to follow my music escapade, you can look up No More Oatmeal on Facebook, and you'll find like 30-second videos of me badly playing the ukulele. So if that's what you're into, for it.
That is awesome. And I believe this is a good buddy of yours who had to come in and say hi.
Hi, Dan. Hi. Yes, this is my good friend Dan from the UK. He's staying up very late right now. In the UK, it's 5 hours past my time, which is 11 p.m. So go to bed.
Yeah, wow, dude. You're a really good friend. Either that or you were just asleep and you're making it look like you're a really good friend. Either way. Edward asked, do you play I don't play any musical instruments. I own a bass guitar. See, okay, I love the bass guitar. I love the sound of it. I love when people really rip on it and go crazy on it. And I've always wanted to play, but every time I own one, I don't do anything with it. Or I just do it for a little while and then I hold it off. So it's almost one of those things where I just want to own it. And I think I don't know. Maybe I'm ridiculous, but I feel like I was made for one art, and it's writing. Because I try to draw, and I'm like, I could be a good artist if I really worked at it, but I don't really want to work at it. Could I be a good bass player? Maybe, if I really worked at it. But I really want to be a writer. I really want to tell stories. David came in. He wants to find. You can find her work mostly right now on Tapas and Webtoons. Is there anywhere else that people can find you?
Yeah, so I'm mostly active as far as posting art on Instagram, and I'm just Angela Oddling on Instagram. If y'all want to give me some more followers on Twitter, I'm also Angela Oddling on all social media. So I'm very easy to find and stalk and such. So
it's hard to be great at many things like AO. It's true, man.
Thank you so much. I'm sure I like to say, like, my favorite thing is, and I haven't gotten to use this yet, but I'm waiting for someone to call one of my ukulele songs a masterpiece so that I can say, yeah, a real masterpiece of shit.
I like that. What's going on, Steph? Glad to have you in here, buddy. Daniel says he's in bed. He just wanted to give some love to his boy.
Okay, I love you, Dad. Have a good night.
Yeah, okay, cool. If you guys have any other questions, you want to know anything else about what Angela does, about making web comics, about her art or her writing or anything else, please feel free. We've got about 10 or so minutes left. Love to just chat it up. Angela, is there anything that you want to discuss since we're here and you've got this sort of soapbox right now? Is there anything, especially about the creative side of making comics?
So like, I feel like I don't even know. Okay, you put me on the spot, but
I did. I very much did.
yeah, I don't know. I think like if there was one thing that I could just like shout out into the ethos is just like comics is a great way like for artists to meet people. Don't be afraid to like ask for help. Don't be afraid to get people's opinions or ask if someone wants to read your stuff. Don't be afraid to like to reach out and network and talk to people, because like I would not be even close to going down the path that I'm going right now if not for like my great friends in the comic community. So like just be cool with people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I couldn't agree with more. And I think that is something. It's funny, you and I are so very different in kind of the stylized things that we do and whatnot. But I think at the heart of it, you and I agree on a lot of things, and we have similar sentimentalities. So I agree, collaboration is so huge. Being and learning from other people and all that kind of stuff. It's so it really does grow you. And are you starting to find that turnaround where now people are asking advice of you? Like, how's that?
Yeah, I've recently, like very recently, honestly, people have been coming to me and being like, "Hey, how did you get so many, subscribers on like Webtoons and everything like that?" And asking me a bunch of different things about like marketing and stuff. And my answer is always like, I literally don't know. like, like I just have to sit and think about it. And mostly, like, I feel like luck is on my side, but honestly, just like marketing and constantly talking to people and being a good friend to people. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I even wonder like if my art is even good and if people are just like, "Oh yeah, that's Angela and she was nice to me once, so I'm going to support her artwork." And if that's like cool, like if that's what's happening, then cool.
I don't agree with the sentiment, but yes, I do understand what you're saying there totally. Um, Martin came in. I like this. He said, "Do you feel the key to telling and selling real or deeper personal stories is to hide them in funny or fantasy narratives?"
So I feel like this is something that is like 50-50, and it depends on what kind of consumer of media you are. For me, the answer is yes. For me, I want to see the real nitty-gritty and like darker experiences that people have beneath the stories that are about people being friends and having a good time and like having a great life. Um, and like magic, like having magic or just having like a good, nice, cute time. That's what I like to see
Yeah.
my experience storytelling. But my best friend Melissa, like she likes to watch movies like Martyrs and movies about cults, and she likes to see bad things happen to people, and that's just what she likes because it's like very raw and real. So I think like depending on who you want to make a story for is really the answer to that question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also for mass consumption in a lot of ways, that can very much be the thing. But I mean, there is definitely, I think the problem is that when you want to do something dark and very raw and open, first off, especially right now, we have this a very strong sensitivity that is happening, and so it becomes very difficult to even find that audience because a lot of people they don't want it, and so if you do it, you kind of have to yeah, see, Martin says, "Now you tell me, Chuck." um and he knows me so well. I feel like yeah, it's easier to hide it and it's easier to sell it that way, but there is a group of people and there is certainly an audience out there who wants that dark niche stuff, and so that's great.
Oh, Melissa is here.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty great. But yeah, you just have to find that audience, and that's so difficult. But they are out there. It's just it's the same as the fact that I have comics, but we're also doing a podcast or an audio drama and novels. They all have kind of separate audiences, and you have to hunt those down, and that's difficult.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very excited about your audio podcast, by the way. I haven't listened to it yet, but I did see that you were doing it, and that's my jam right now is like audio stuff.
Thank you. That's awesome. We actually just finished season 2. So basically, if you were to go and listen to all of it now, you would actually get the full story. That's what is going to be turned into the novel. And then, yeah, so it's all there. It's all bingeable. We're currently finishing the edits on the novel. And then we're hoping for early spring, we'll start season 3. And we're just going to keep going because we thought we were going to just do the 2 seasons and see what's up. And we kind of fell in love with the world and everything that was happening. We're like, yeah, shit, we got to keep going.
That's so cool. So you guys are actually doing like an audio drama and then an adaptation, like in a novel. Like it's the same sort of story. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I've been like, and actually Melissa is my best friend. So thank you for being here, Melissa. But like, she gave me this idea, and Chuck, I know that you mentioned too, like with lore, like you really like lore whenever it comes to storytelling, and Detached has so much lore that like I can't even begin to fit it into the story. So I was thinking about like releasing like the brief history of Oddland, like the book. So I think it's really cool to like have different sort of like medias and different things that all connect into one big thing.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. Have you know what? I'm going to do this first. David, because David asked this question once already, and then I didn't get to it, so I apologize. He asked, do you collaborate with other creators?
I do collaborate with creators. Yes, I do. So right now, I'm collaborating. I am collaborating, and I'm so sorry if I forget it, with Chaz Pangburn, with Melissa. We're doing a really cool project called The Bad Parts, which is, it's about like all of the really dangerous parts of Earth told from the perspective of a personified Earth that's sort of like struggling with the idea that she has to show the bad parts to these people that are living on her, us. But that's a really fun collaboration. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. And then I'm also doing a collaboration with a group called Sketch Brew, which is an animation studio that just started up. My friend VT Animation started it, and I'm not sure. Are you familiar with Katrina Kunstman?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, Katrina is one of my dear friends, and she is also collaborating with us on that project. And we're doing some cool animation work in that collab. So, yeah, collaborations are where it's at.
That's really cool. Now, were you saying that you and Melissa were thinking about working in audio drama? Is that something you were talking about, or am I dead off?
We are wanting to do a podcast. Me and Melissa want to do a podcast called You Might Like It. And you might like it. So me and Melissa have, and we were just talking about this, me and Melissa have wildly like separate tastes. So she like is very much like true crime and like documentaries about bad stuff that happens. And I'm very much like, I want to watch an anime that's mostly pink, that's about people in school that are friends. So like, so like our podcast is going to be about us recommending things that we like, that we think the other person would like, and then we come back and talk about it. So
I think that's adorable. I love that idea. I was in my head the way you were starting to pitch it, I thought it was going to be you guys trying to find the Venn diagram slice where you would find the one thing that you guys both enjoy equally.
And that is also hard to find. That is also hard to
find. Martin came in again. By the way, guys, thank you so much. You guys have some amazing questions going on. With so many things going on for you creatively, how are you handling time management, and do you use any tools for that?
So my first recommendation for that is to go on and find a therapist. That's my first recommendation is find a therapist and just cry at them for like a while. So once I have my therapist and once that's out of the way, I actually have a giant whiteboard that I have hanging right here. And I am a person that I can't really use any kind of like calendar, like digital calendars or anything like that. Like phone reminders don't work for me. Google Calendar doesn't work for me. I have to see it. So what I do is I have a giant whiteboard that I write everything on with the due dates next to it. And then I have another section that I write stuff that maybe I want to work on soon. So I do that. And then I have, right now I have a bunch of stuff taped to my wall, which is just like organize it. Like, this is where I'm at on this project. This is where I'm at on this project. Eventually, whenever my bulletin boards come in, that's how I'll do that.
Now you have a house all to yourself, correct?
I live in my grand castle all on my own.
Okay, so I've seen pictures of your house and it's very eclectic. I really love it. I really do.
Thank you. I have a church ceiling, and like I live in an apartment complex on the very top floor, and I always have my windows open. So like the church ceiling and the windows open make it so that anytime I'm in my house, it sounds like woo, woo.
Is that the ghost boyfriend you're searching for? It
is my ghost boyfriend.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that.
His name is Vivaldi.
Its name is. That's a good name. I like that. Vivaldi. It's a great name. I had a question, and I just got so excited by that.
Oh, Vivaldi. So, okay, this is like off topic, but this is my confession time, and this is how I came up right now with saying that my ghost boyfriend's name is Vivaldi. Oop, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay. Did you hear anything that I said?
Vivaldi.
Okay. Do you remember the AOL Instant Messenger era?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Okay, so my confession is, and this is where the ghost boyfriend things comes from, is that in 5th grade, there was this girl that was in my class, and I was talking to her on AOL Instant Messenger, and I was like, be right back, gotta eat dinner. And then I catfished her into thinking that she was dating a ghost named Vivaldi that lived in my attic. So, sorry, Alexis.
I think that's awesome. So I do remember what I was going to ask now. You were talking about Melissa's being awesome. She's putting up all of your great stuff there.
She's my best good friend.
She's obviously very supportive. So everyone out there, if you do need some advice, I would say get you a Melissa, because that seems to be
She is like the best researcher, like best communicator. Like, she's just on top of it all the time. She's always like, Art, when are you going to do your newsletter? When are you going to do your Patreon? And I'm just like, can you please just stop being so responsible for me?
See, get you a Melissa for sure, guys. So what I was going to ask is, obviously you have that area right there, which is very much your work area. How much of that has spilled off into the rest of your house?
Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Good for you. I think most of us are the same way, but I had to ask.
Yeah, I try to be like, this is my work area. This is where I'm gonna work. And then like my dining room table is not a dining room table. It's just covered in paint. I have like just random stuff. Like, I'll be painting like a wooden box in my living room, and I'm just like, that's what my wooden box part of the carpet. So
I've had times where I'm sitting down and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna play a video game or something. I'm playing a video game, and a client will call me, just be like, hey man, I need to work through something right now. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll pause the game and I'll call my kid and I'll be like, can you go get my notebook real quick? And so I'll just
exactly, yeah.
This is my office now. Like, it's right there in the living room.
when you live in your own house, the whole house is your office.
That's true. That's very true. William K. Holland says, "Are you also going to create a book called My Search for My Ghost Boyfriend?"
Yes, probably. Like, it's probably already a book like that I've made, and I just don't remember.
Just have to put it together. Oh, these guys are. Yeah, see, David agrees. You need to hire yourself a Melissa.
Yep, need to get a Melissa, y'all. She's the best collaborator and friend that I could ever have.
Right. Is she still your friend now? I think he might be talking about Alexa.
No.
We all move on. We all move on.
Listen, I don't be friends with weirdos that date ghosts, okay? Just kidding. Just kidding. She's a lovely girl.
And are you saying that because she is on your Facebook? So just in case she comes across, yeah. See, now that's the smart thing to do because we all have that. Hello, Terry. How are you?
Hello, Terry.
Yeah, man. Do you want to give us a final as we start to wind this down? Oh, yeah. See, now everyone's saying they're all coming from one of the other shows. So now they're all saying, all right, let's start over.
No, start from the top, fellas.
Yeah, right? Fuck you guys. But why don't, for those people who are all showing up, because a buddy of ours, Russell, has a show. You missed out on a Your Kind of Fun Talk. Oh. Well,
Okay.
you missed out on an everybody fun kind of talk because Angela's fucking awesome. I don't know how to tell you
Russell's
that.
gonna have me on his show.
Right? I'll see if I can work that out for you. So why don't you give everybody the pitch for Angela Oddling and for your book Detached and for the things that you're working on?
Sure. Hello to everybody. My name is Angela Oddling, and I am the creator of the webcomic Detached, which is on Tapas and Webtoon. It is a story about a girl named Casey who has to learn how to love herself and move on from her anxieties after her personal demons manifest in the real world as strange creatures called oddlings. If you are interested in strange creatures and things called oddlings that are cute and a little bit scary and a little bit sad, you can follow me on all of the social media websites at Angel Oddling. And that's it.
Well done. So, you know what? I should be asking this question more often, but most of my guests so far have been indie comic creators that kind of run in mostly American comics. So I will say, now that you've gotten into the indie world, what books have inspired you? You know, other people's works and whatnot. What indie comic books have really kind of blown your world? Because compared to probably what you were reading and now coming into this world, that's got to be way different.
Yeah, so right now I would say that there's just so many. So obviously, like, Scott Pilgrim is, not indie, I guess, but that was a book that Scott Pilgrim is a big one. Like things that are really personal, like blankets. That was another one. One of my favorite comic book creators is Michael Sweater, and he does a comic called Please Destroy My Enemies that you can get from Silver Sprocket. And his wife also does a comic called Catboy that you can also get from Silver Sprocket. So those two are like one of my two top faves. That they've inspired me a lot. I know that like there's so many more, but I just can't think of them off the top of my head right now because I'm like
no.
Bozo.
Again, I put you on the spot, so it's totally okay. Everybody, you guys are such dicks. Everybody in there, they're like, say Belial. Don't push anything. Don't push that down her throat. Come on, guys. She's a lovely person. She doesn't deserve that. Jeez. Yeah, I'm just going through everybody. They're saying so much. Everybody has the recommendations now. And it's all like totally fucking inappropriate.
No,
Cool.
it's gonna be super appropriate.
So, guys, thank you so much. We're not gonna go long with this one. I've had seriously, Angela, thank you so much. You need to get out more and do more of these because I love having you out. We got to do that panel together, talking about different types of comics, and you got to come out and talk about web comics and stuff. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, and please keep doing what you're doing because honestly, I had a blast with Detached. I think that the audience for that is so much bigger than you give it credit. And I know that because it's so personal to you that's difficult. But in all honesty, I think that it's something that it's not immediately something, and I was saying this to her backstage, it's not immediately something that just anyone would pick up and read, but I do believe that anyone who did pick it up and read it could certainly enjoy it and find a piece of themselves in the characters in there. So thank you for that, seriously.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast. The panel was a blast. This was a blast. I really appreciate you taking a look at Detached. It really means a lot to me. So thank you very much.
So glad to do it. My boy David is going to be in touch because he is excited to work with you. He's a really good writer. I think you'll enjoy it. He and I are working on something right now. So, look at this. Travis came in for some love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to both David and Travis. Thank you so much.
Angela's last name is Oddling. You can find her across ODDLING. You can find her Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What you're doing? TikTok videos too? Like,
I have one, but I don't.
I believe I missed that, but no, I believe you basically said you have one, but you don't really do anything with it.
Yeah, when I go on TikTok, I'm just like, boy, I sure am very old. So
could someone put it up in the? It's Oddling, ODDLING. So yeah, check her out. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Wendy. You're a keeper. Way to go. And okay, so before we do leave, there was one last thing. This was a very good question. Are there any printed volumes? I know the answer, but I want to hear her say it.
There is no printed volumes.
But
Angela. But I am in the process of I actually sent a pitch out to a few places to see if that goes anywhere, and if it doesn't go anywhere that is satisfactory to me, then I will be launching a Kickstarter in 2021.
Please do. In all honesty, I'm very excited to check out Chapter 6 and see where it's going. I love the idea that you do have an end in mind. I'm going to give you some of my theories off camera because I'm worried that they might be close to reality. But I very much, as I was reading it, created theories, and I'm very excited to see what's going on. So
yes, I can't wait to hear them.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely, I do. So thank you so much. Oh man, holy shit, everyone's jumping in. Yeah, Russ, you took everybody, and now all of a sudden they want to come in, and we're about ready to go. This is what happens when you do 2-hour-long shows. Oh yeah, see, Angela's in there. And, yeah, you're in here. So yeah. Wow. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I always appreciate you. Next week I'm gonna have Andrew Davis in. Andrew Davis is an interviewer himself, so we're really gonna get into the mind of how he gets into other people's minds. He's also a massive pop culture and comic consumer, and even works in the secondary market selling comics and whatnot. So we'll really kind of get into that sort of stuff. Guys, you know how to track me down. You can find me here on my Facebook. You can find me on, Twitter at Chucky Pim. You can find me on my YouTube if you guys are watching through YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Give us some, if you have any suggestions for people you'd like to have on the show, please hit me up. I'm always interested, always listening. Thank you guys so much. My name's Chuck. I give a fuck. Take care of yourselves. Be good.
Bye.